reviewing NWA Power for February 25th. How'd you like it, Alexander?
Mostly I like it. I don't like screwed main events. This is not something I appreciate. I mean, they are building for 2 weeks the fact that we will have a match between Thunder Rosa and Melina, and finally we didn't get any match. So what's the point? We have Camille that finally come, Spear, Alison Kay. I don't know where they are going with that. I mean, I think it was a good idea, maybe to have maybe Melina trying to live the match, and after that to have Alison Kay bringing back her in the ring and getting a match can be interesting. But what's the point to bring back Melina to the ring when she already lost the match, and why Camille is Spear after that? Alison Kay, they are no feud between them at all. Why Thunder Rosa didn't react when we know that she's starting like her babyface turn, and in fact, she refused to get the help of Marty Bell at the during the last match she had with Alison Kay. So at this point, if Alison Kay make a babyface move by bringing back Melina, why when Camille, Spear, Alison Kay, we had no reaction from Thunder Rosa that is supposed right now to turn babyface. It was the best way to finish that babyface turn. For the rest of if we look after we start maybe with the first match, the match with I don't like triple threat. I think that we have too much of them. I think that what's the point to have Ricky Stark in a triple threat?
Yeah.
When, the stipulation is to get to be the contender for the television champion when he is himself the television champion. So the match is beginning, and we know that the winner is not Ricky Stark, because if Ricky Stark wins, so who is the contender? So we don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're just getting a cheap way to get Ziggy Dice the win, so he'd be the contender.
Yes, but at this point you can just put the two contender in the ring, one against each other. So you have a baby face, you have a heel. If you want absolutely to have Ricky Starks on TV, you just have to put it in the comments at the commentator table.
Yeah,
Speaking about his future contender, and Cross. I mean, the baby face in that. I'm not really convinced by that wrestler, in the fact that first the promo he did was really generic. This is a promo about we are really tired to hear. Like all my life I wrestled to be here, and I'm glad to be here. I will do everything because this is my life. I mean, try to find something else more interesting. I mean, he's obviously an athlete. He's an honest worker. He takes the business seriously. But this is, for me, this is too much of flip flop. You know, this is not the style for me of the NWA. This is the kind of stuff we find in AEW. I mean, when you are jumping all around and running all around.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more effective too if just one-on-one Cross and Dice. Just have Dice screw over Cross in the end, and you basically get the same result.
Yes,
and you get face heat for Cross.
Yes, and Zicky Dice as a heel need to cheat, absolutely. Obviously, he's a heel. This is his job. But if you look on the other side, I think that the wrestling style of Zicky Dice is really closer to what we want in the National Wrestling Association. He's not jumping and running everywhere. I mean, I think this is a better. But why it's need absolutely between that two other guys? This is like they don't have enough wrestler to bring a third one. And I mean, in the case of Zicky Dice, you need to have 7 victories. So then we'll have like 3 times Cross and 4 times Zicky Dice. Can we have another wrestler or something?
Yeah, he has 3 wins now, and they're all against those 2 guys. So I don't even get that 7 thing. Win 7, and you can challenge for the 10 pounds of gold. Aren't you jumping over the national title? Shouldn't you be able to cash in for the national title?
I think you directly have you are directly the challenger for the national the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it because normally to win 7 times in a row when you have a championship, that's not something easy. And anyway, I mean, it's become a kind of wild card in the tournament because where you can build something interesting. That's the best way to build a champion, to have someone that is undefeated and beat maybe some wrestler stronger and higher than him. And this is a way you can build like a champion. On the other way, it's very hard for me to imagine Ricky Stark as a world heavyweight champion, a promo of Team Storm, and after that, the confrontation with Danny Deals, the manager that was laughing at his mom. So, but I like that. If you want to do a heel manager, you need to bring to be hate. And at this point, the first time, even it was disgracious for Team Storm, it was looking at some point funny for the audience. So you need to, I like the speculation where they said that if Team Storm win, he can beat the crap out of the manager. But I don't want to see that in 2 weeks. I mean, I want to have a slow building about it.
Yeah.
That the manager had the time to be hate really
much. Build up for the Crockett Cup.
Yes, and I mean, I think we need to Team Storm right now. People are rooting for him, but more the situation is hard for him. More keep faith, even if he lose match, even if he got screwed. I mean, people sustain him and continue to root more and more for him. So the fact that to be stick with if he can lose some 1 or 2 match by being screwed by that manager, I think it will be really good because the people will support even more Team Storm, and that manager and Danny Deeds will succeed to be 8 and more. So the day where Team Storm will be able to grab him and make him cry, people will be really glad about it. But they need to build it slowly. And at this point, they would be able to get, because in the history of the National Wrestling Alliance, managers played an important role. And I think in that case, that it was really important to build up properly a manager like Danny Deals. I will go the same with the Pope. Tonight, that was absolutely amazing as always.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with Pope.
Pope is tremendous. I love him. He's a great baby face, but as a heel, is absolutely amazing. He's hateable, and I mean tonight the heel turn from of the Bouncers.
That was good. Didn't see that coming at all.
Yes, I was not flabbergasted, but I was surprised. I didn't wait for it. I was waiting maybe to see the Dawson run from behind, but on the other way, I was thinking, okay, but it means that the Pope will be if the Dawson are fighting with the Bouncers. I mean, Eddie Kingston can jump on the Pope, and this is exactly what need to be impossible for him. He's in a situation a little bit like Team Storm, so it's harder and harder for me for him, and more harder it is, more the people are rooting for him. And Eddie Kingston does amazing promos. He's absolutely great, believable. What he hates, you hate it with him. And now he's on Pope. You want to kill him. And when he was thinking to get support, I mean, he have been screwed. The situation is worse and worse for him. And I mean, it's for now it's difficult.
Yeah, the only problem is, what are they going to do? Have the Dawsons join Eddie? What are they going to get?
This is what I was thinking, because look at the Dawson, the situation of the Dawson. First, they have been screwed by Strictly Business when they try to finally say the truth about what happened. Because of that, they have been in a match with Wild Cards when one of the two brothers get hurt. After that, he got hurt, and they have been draws to fight each other in the television championship playoff. The hurt one beat the healthy one, and finally, no one of them got in the playoff. And finally, they have been screwed by Pope. So they look to be in a situation where they suffers maybe some potential babyface, but this is not easy to make them babyface because they were so hate. I mean, it was the most hated tag team actually in the NWA. I mean, they start by being brutal, violent, and saying to people, "We were the guys that steal your lunch money when you were young." So
yeah, they really haven't done anything to build them up as faces. Get no sympathy from them at all for Pope screwing them over.
Yes, this is really like. I mean, this is like, as I said, if they jump from heel to babyface, I mean, we saw some kind of building for that, but at the same time, I mean, it's still that they are going from far. I mean, they have been really, really hateable, and this is hard to imagine how Eddie Kingston can decide to work with them because they were enemies. I mean, remember that Outlaw Inc. and the Dawson at the beginning of the tournament were really the worst enemies. There was more than Wild Card and everything.
Yeah.
So they were fighting to have to be the challenger. So, but on the other way, on the other side, I think they will take it for later. And who will join Eddie Kingston? I mean,
yeah, I don't see anyone.
I mean,
if they spend maybe 2 or 3 weeks trying to build up sympathy for the Dawsons, I can see people supporting them flipping over to support Eddie. But as is, people aren't going to care.
But I think the way is to, if we try a little bit to read it, actually, you have, they said that next week we'll get the bouncers against Eli Drake and Storm and James Storm. And I think at this point, it's not impossible that for themselves, not for Eddie Kingston, but for themselves, maybe the Dawson will go screw the bouncers. So to bring the Dawson for selfish reason, to screw the match, and after that, start a feud between the bouncer and the Dawson, it would be possible that finally the Dawson and Eddie Kingston are forced to work together, like as frenemies, I can say. And in that situation, it would be logic.
Yeah, I guess I can see that happening.
The feud with Trevor Murdoch and Aaron Stevens is going well, I think.
Yeah. There's a little quick of a match between him and Question Mark, though.
Yes, I think question mark was supposed at the beginning to be just like a kind of joke, and I'm not sure it was supposed to be for a long time. I think that Josephus was supposed to reveal himself quickly, but
Yeah,
it didn't happen because question mark became popular with the fans.
yeah,
So what they are doing right now, he lose 2 time easily against Trevor Murdoch, but make that it's like if they bury him, but at the same time he act as a heel, and people are supporting him. So what they are doing with that wrestler, I mean, I was thinking when Aaron Stevens ran away and let question mark being beat up by Scott Steiner, I thought that maybe they will push question mark to have a feud with Aaron Stevens and maybe make him a babyface. What will be logic at the same for the same reason that Thunder Rosa. I mean, when the people cheer for uh, cheer the heel, you need to change it. You need to hack, and they are
yeah,
unable to bring question mark to be hated by the crowd. He can do anything; people still cheer for him.
yeah. They definitely need to just have Stevens turn on him and just let him get up and spike Stevens in the throat. That'll drive the crowd crazy.
So,
Definitely have question mark be the one to take that national title off of him.
well, it would be a good option, and
Well, now I can see them going the path of question mark taking that belt off of Stevens, and then out of complete shock and frustration, he just rips the mask off of question mark, revealing Josephus.
can be
I
possible
think they could spin that well for the crowd.
because it stated that if you turn face the question mark, you make him third with Aaron Stevens. Uh, Outside of that, the fact when he, example, you win the national title, after that, what he will do or what he will do with that.
That's why I'd say get rid of the question mark gimmick. Once he takes that belt off of Stevens, Stevens just reveals him and he just goes back to being plain old Josephus.
Or the option could be to give him a manager. I don't know where they are going with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like they're just trying to bury question marks so they can keep Josephus a heel.
Or maybe Josephus and question mark will be only different wrestlers. Uh,
Yeah.
it's look more and more like that because they bring Josephus into they bring him for the Royal Battle, the Battle Royale. They bring him in a match with in the tag team match. You know, I think as I remember, it was against Eli Drake and James Storm, and for now he looked like more cameo something like that.
Yeah, they definitely have to figure that out. But I don't know. They must be against having Josephus himself as a face.
Now we have also like we got the fight between like the guys from Strictly Business and also like Villain Enterprise.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was really glad. I mean, Nicole, this is amazing on the mic. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but I mean, he's also great as as a heel champion. It was great as a face champion also, but the way he's so, I mean, I would say he's so provocative. He uses his British accent to be like someone look to be give himself a false noble style. That's great, and I was happy that the brawl was not too long. Pretty sure that we will see other Villain Enterprise wrestler, but the question is who it will be. Um, it will then we will see Pierre Carl Ouellet wrestle like in the Crockett Cup or something like that. That
Yeah.
it could be interesting, but I don't know if Ring of Honor want to send his own champion and that stuff. he was in the ring when Nicaldis went to Ring of Honor at the Ring of Honor event.
Well, they got a deal now, so I think if it gets them both exposure, Ring of Honor won't have the trouble sending over basically anyone related to Villain Enterprise that NWA asks for.
Yeah, also the story with the vlog, it's ridiculous. But it's funny, but at least this is not idiocies in the ring. I mean, this is around that, and I mean, I suppose they are trying to create a third, what they will implicate uh, they will implicate like jealousy stories, but for now, I mean, it doesn't take so much time. So I know a lot of people are whining about that, but it's in fact it takes just the place of the Austin Idol publicity, all that stuff. So this is not too long. So I'm able to live with it, and I prefer that than got like a backstage segment when it's like the camera doesn't exist or stuff like that.
Yeah.
In the case of the vlog, I mean, it's looked like every video looks to be have been to be done with the phone of the girls from and so I'm able to see a way to use that to create some. I mean,
Yeah, it keeps all relevant until his injury clears up.
it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But
Yeah,
I think they struggle to apply it properly.
yeah.
Or,
Yeah, the only real complaint I have was Thunder Rosa and Melina. The most contact was Rosa shoved her once and then nothing. They could have got us at least 2 minutes worth of an actual match.
but you can do that for a mid card match. That's fine for a main event. Even if this is only an episode, like for a main event, I don't think that. I think this is not a good thing at all. It was 2 weeks because that week's Power didn't air. So for 2 weeks, they sold to the people a match Thunder Rosa Melina, and we got nothing in the main event. It's ridiculous. At this point, don't put it in the main event.
Yeah. I think they were thinking people would be so blown away by Camille actually doing something. But at this point, it's, oh yeah, Camille ran in. Who really cares?
But it was not
what she does.
So big surprise. It's not like if she didn't. She speared Team Storm. Oh, speared Allison Kay. This is nothing.
And it ended with Rosa just walking away.
Yes, that's completely that's a completely messed up.
Yeah.
And chaotic main event. It was going nowhere, and seriously, they need to have something really more interesting next week.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I'm not sure that the tag team match next week, tag team title, would be the main event.
No. I'm thinking Ziggy Dice and Ricky Starks.
That will be really bad because it's not enough interesting for a main event if it will be the first match between them.
Yeah, it's like the third match or something like that. So yeah, that should be the middle of the hour. But I don't see them doing anything with Marty Scurll or Aldis next week. So you have to pick one of the championships to be the main event.
But you are not forced to do absolutely a member. First, if you have a champion, a contender for a championship, generally it's better to put it in the main event.
And it looks like we've gone longer than the actual episode of Power.
Yes, we spoke more about Power than Power wrestled. So agreed. It was interesting wrestling conversation. Resolute Germ. Certainly, we'll try to do it more often.
Yeah, we can clean it up a bit next time. I'll see you later, Alexander.
Yes, have a good time.